Good morning, everyone. Thank y'all for joining. We are back for another video. Y'all, pardon me, I had to push back just a little bit. I was super busy this morning and trying to finish getting my evidence together for this Nolan Wells report this morning. I got some new findings. I hope you guys are ready for that. We're going to check out the third part of this interview with Officer Tatum and Warren, who sat down with him to give his account of what happened on July 4th and the surrounding dates around it. We're going to take a look at all of those, and I'm going to reveal some things that I ran across as well. I hope you guys are ready for all of that. Good morning. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, my favorite day of the week, right? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Y'all pardon me today if I sound like I'm sniffling or coughing or sneezing even, okay? I got a slight cold from sleeping under the fan. I'm getting over it. We're about there, okay? But y'all bear with me if y'all hear me sniffling, okay? I'm trying not to sniffle as much because I know it can be annoying. But thank you guys all for being here. I see you all. Hello to everyone. If I didn't call your name individually, just know I love you down. And thank you guys for coming over to support, okay? So y'all pardon me for coming on slightly later because I had to get all my stuff together and make sure that, and I usually don't like to take notes, but I had to take a few notes this morning so I don't miss giving you guys what I need to give y'all for this video. But good morning, hi, and hello to all. Let's get into it. Of course, everything said in this video is alleged and in my opinion and is used for fair use and entertainment. All right. Hey, thank y'all. I see y'all. Thank you so much. All right, so let me move this down. All right, let's move that there. Let me rearrange my stuff the way I need it. Okay. Then we put you there. Y'all pardon me. Yeah. Okay, let's get into it. All right, of course, everything said is alleged and is used for fair use and entertainment. Let's jump in. We have some congratulations in order first before we jump in. Hey, Taff, thanks for being here. All right. All right, so according to Hollywood Unlocked, we have quite a few people that we have to, Black excellence to be exact, to congratulate this morning. They are receiving stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So shout out to all of them, okay? Lil Wayne, Raven-Symoné, Keke Palmer, Idris Elba, Delroy Lindo, Charlamagne the God, Karol G, and many more, you guys, are set to receive stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Ain't that something? I am excited about that. All right, let's go ahead and comb through. All right, so you guys can see here. All right, so let's see. Hollywood Walk of Fame, class of 2027, motion pictures, Cheech and Chong, Idris Elba, Sam Elliott, Elle Fanning, and Dakota Fanning. Double ceremony says that Kate Hudson, Delroy Lindo, Sam Rockwell, and Ted Santos. So they're giving out a lot of stars. That's huge, right? For television, David Alan Grier, Lisa Kudrow, Bill Lawrence, Pedro Pascal, Adam Scott, Jeff Probst, Keke Palmer, and Raven-Symoné. Okay. So recording will be Karol G, Dave Gietto. I hope I said it right. Waylon Jennings, Joseph Sadler, Grandmaster Flash, Mark, was that Shaman, Sia, Smashing Pumpkins, Linkin Park. I like Linkin Park. And Lil Wayne, okay? Live theater and performance will be Joe Cole, Nicole Scherzinger. I like her. Y'all know she used to be with the Pussycat Dolls. And Roberto Boyle. All right. So sports entertainment will be Jimmy Johnson. And radio will be Leonard Charlamagne the God. Charlamagne the God. I ain't going to call him Leonard because that's funny. So, yeah, shout out to them, right? Okay, so Lil Wayne did say on Twitter, he said, okay, so my brother is Fabian, right? He said that, and he played too effing much like brothers do. Said that this man just told me that it's been confirmed that I'm getting my own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So it sounds like he is excited. He says, what the F, boy? Said this man played too much, bruh. Said, you serious, boy? So he's excited. It sounds like Lil Wayne is excited. He deserves it. Lil Wayne been in the game for a minute. He has a lot of hits out there. He's featured on a lot of other artists' records that have really blown up to number one. So shout out to Lil Wayne. Okay. Raven Simone.
This honoree has shaped multiple generations of television. Raven Simone.
Who the fuck is Simone? Raven Simone? We renaming her now? Raven Simone. All right, Raven Simone.
Winning.
Keke Palmer. This is when she finds out she's getting her star. She's, of course, excited.
What? That's crazy. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's so cool. The kids are going to love that. That's insane. Winning. What?
Huge, okay? So she's excited, obviously. Okay.
In the category of radio, next we have a man who is the voice of the culture, a Radio Hall of Fame inductee, and an absolute force. Charlemagne the God. We are thrilled for the class of 2027. Thanks to everyone. Thanks to Ming Na, Sheila E., and Jerry for coming up to provide to this program. And congratulations to all of our new Walk of Famers. Thank you for being here.
So they have 32 honorees to be exact, as you guys can see here. 32 honorees for stars. Now, they didn't have any more room to be putting any more stars out there. That's impressive. I love that for them. But Raven Simone sent me, baby. Okay. But shout out to them. I think everybody is deserving of their star. So shout out to everyone receiving their star. Okay. Shout out to him. Let's get into this Diddy news. Diddy had to be thrown in the hole, guys, because he got into a fight in the prison. Let's get into it, honey. He had to throw his ass in the hole. Somebody must have been trying to get his booty brownies or something. All right. He tried to get his booty in there, and they had to throw him in the hole, child. So Diddy reportedly, according to Jasmine Brand, gets into a prison brawl and ends up in solitary confinement. Sources says that he did hold his own. Well, we know he can fight because we saw him fighting Cassie in that damn video by the elevator. We know he got hands because we've seen it up close and damn personal. So they said Sean Diddy Combs was reportedly involved in a physical altercation with another inmate this week while serving his sentence at FCI Fort Dix in New Jersey. Now, according to TMZ, multiple sources claim the confrontation began after another inmate allegedly insulted Combs, leading to a heated exchange that quickly turned physical. The outlet reports the two men shoved one another and exchanged punches before correctional officers stepped in and broke up the fight. Sources told TMZ that Combs held his own during the brief altercation. Following the incident, said that he was reportedly placed in solitary confinement while prison officials viewed what happened. Neither the Federal Bureau of Prisons nor Combs representatives have publicly commented on the reported incident. Okay. So this is a real thing. This really happened, okay? So he was up in there fighting. They probably gonna give him more time. Y'all know when they get to fighting and acting uncouth, they just give him more time. But let's get more into it because Lorraine LaRosa, honey, she got a closer look into what had happened. Let's get into what she says, honey. This damn fight. He was fighting for his cornhole, baby. I know that's right, Diddy. You better fight for it. Shit, if you don't fight, who will? So shout out to Brown Girl Grinding, Lorraine LaRosa. She says that I'm hearing that Diddy's in the hole in Fort Dix. Said he allegedly beat a man up really bad. So this sounds like it got real bad, y'all. Now they said that the phone call that I got was Diddy choked a man out. And that Diddy is now in solitary confinement for possibly 30 days. She says that I know that Diddy's reps are trying to confirm what, if anything, happened, but they did not dispute my phone call to them on this. So she reached out, and got more clarity on what happened. So not like Diddy in there fighting, honey. He got hands in the jail system. So, hey, that is what it is. Let's move on to the Celeste Rivas case. All right. Looks like her attorneys are speaking out. They did have a hearing on yesterday with some findings. Oh my God, this case is starting to be more gruesome than I thought it would be. Now, we already knew that she was dismembered. Celeste Rivas was dismembered, alleged by David. She was found in the back of his Tesla. I also read that he had like so many like glade stick-ups and those little air freshener. Y'all know the little tree things that you put on your window. On your mirror to like keep the smell down. Y'all, they said he had like hundreds of those in the front of his Tesla to, I guess, throw the scent off because y'all know her body was decomposing in the trunk and it was like hot as balls outside. So he was trying to mask that decomposing smell in his Tesla. But she was definitely dismembered. They said fingers, kneecaps, all types of shit. He did buy saws and all of that to do all of that. I don't want to be too gruesome, but let's get into what her attorney had to say. Celeste Rivas' family is struggling to comprehend the horrific allegations against David, with their attorney telling TMZ that they simply can't understand why he would allegedly take a chainsaw to their beautiful girl. This is shout out to TMZ TV. Let's get into this. This is horrible. Like it's one thing to unalive somebody, but then to overkill, right? Which would mean going to the next step of dismembering a person. Like that's some sick shit. You got to be really gone in the dome to take those levels, right? Like I've seen some really, really crazy not even first 48s, but crime shows where people really go that far. You would really have some serious mental shit. Almost like what's my boy that was eating people? My boy that was eating people? That's some sick shit. Like what was you gonna do that next? Oh, let's keep going, y'all.
Patrick, I wanted to ask you, I know in there, can you paint a picture for people that didn't get to be in the courtroom? What was it like in there today?
Well, today was an easier day than yesterday.
Thank you, Jeffrey Dahmer. That shit is beyond demonic. That's beyond demonic, y'all.
Celeste's parents are really disheartened, and they have a lot of problems just kind of understanding how someone like David Anthony Burke could allegedly take a chainsaw to a beautiful young girl and dismember her body and just throw her in the trunk of his car. And so it's been very hard for them. And today was better, and I'm hoping that things are going to get better. But tomorrow is going to be a difficult day because tomorrow is going to be the medical examiner. So there's going to be a lot of testimony concerning the condition of her body, which was just awful.
I know we're hearing that the family left early. Can you tell us what happened there?
They are driving in from Lake Elsinore, and so they started off at 5 a.m. to get here, and they haven't slept well the last 2 nights, and they just wanted to sleep well, and tomorrow they're coming in a little bit later, and they're just trying to gain some energy and regroup.
Patrick,
That's understandable. They had to drive very far to get there for this case. They were very tired, so they did not stay throughout the entire hearing. They wanted to go back to their rooms, according to this attorney saying they didn't sleep well for the past couple of nights. I'm sure, because they knew they were coming to court to hear the gruesome details of what happened to their daughter, of her being dismembered and all the other things that's playing into this damn case. It's fucking crazy. Like, all because he didn't want to be caught being with a fucking minor and have his career ruined by her speaking out on all the things that she experienced, the abuse, the sexual abuse, and all the other things that she experienced with him, right? He was making her get tattoos, and I read up on a lot of this stuff. This whole case is fucking crazy. And the fact that he ordered chainsaws and bags, and like he really, this was premeditated. I'm sorry. This was premeditated. You took the time to plan. You took the time to think about where you're going to put this person and what you were going to do to this person. Like, I'm sorry, they're going to give him life, if not the death penalty. Sorry. And I blame his mama, because I went back and read some stuff where you have to check on your kids. I think they say he dealt with a lot of depression growing up. He only wanted to stay into his room, locked in his room. He started showing signs of some like weird behaviors. His mom didn't do anything about it, because as he kind of got his career, he started bringing money in. So she didn't give a fuck. She was like, hey, go in your room and lock the door. I don't care. But, go on tour and make this money so we can live better, right? Instead of getting him the necessary help that he needed in terms of therapy, some type of psychiatric help. Because he was showing some withdrawalness. And just watch your kids. You got to pay attention to your kids, right? If all he wants to do is stay in his room with the door locked all damn day, you don't know what the hell he's doing in there, right? Entertaining demons in your damn house, and now look what's happened. Oh, let's move on, child. I ain't even ready to start hollering. I ain't even got to Nolan. That's why I want to holler, because I ran across some stuff today, and I'm uncovering some lies today too. We're gonna look at part 3 of the interview of Juan talking to Officer Tatum while he's sitting there with that smirk on his face and not holding him yet accountable again for yet another video, which is going to literally piss me off. But it's okay, because I did my homework. That's why my video was a little late coming on today, because I ran into some findings, some things that I was looking up, some things that I pulled as well. I had to write down some things that I did not want to forget while going through this video. So y'all know I don't do no notes, but baby, I had to write notes today. But let's go ahead and get into Nolan. Let's get into Nolan. All right. For those of you that's tired of hearing about Nolan, go ahead and sign off, because every video, every Car Chronicles, I am devoting to Nolan until we find out what the hell happened to this boy. Right. Yeah, and I'm going to be looking up to see if there's any new developments for Shanquilla, because we're not going to forget about her. We're going to keep her name in our mouth as well, because she too deserves justice, even though the Cabo 6 are trying to sweep it under the rug, change names, avoid accountability. She too will stay on our lips over here on this channel, as far as everyone else. All right, we're going to talk about Celeste Rivas since we started talking about her. No, she's not one of our own, but she is still a person of interest, and her life was taken, and she deserves to be talked about as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get into Nolan. Shout out to WBRZ.
The life of a football player with a bright future ended suddenly.
It's truly a blessing, you know, just being here with like some of my best friends, teammates, and we're all going to college together, most of us. So it's just truly a blessing to be here.
Nolan Wells' death has his family and the country asking what happened on the 4th of July. According to investigators and his family, Wells visited Horn Island in Mississippi with friends from high school. When those friends returned to land, Wells did not. Investigators say Wells' body was found in the water days later. They suspected drowning, but Wells' family isn't sure. Now his family is pushing for transparency.
The only thing that we can do as parents is hope that our local authorities do a thorough investigation, but also, again, the reason why, we have asked for additional, things with our legal team. Transparency is important. Since we started this, that is all we asked for. And it's just a lot of things with this case that's going on that's not clear.
The life of a football player with a bright...
So y'all see that? That's just to give you guys a little brief synopsis before we get into the things of the things. Just in case your spaceship just landed today and you don't know what's going on in this Nolan Well case, that's exactly what's going on. Let's go ahead and get into some things. Now, this is a video that I ran across on Twitter. No, on TikTok, sorry. On TikTok that I want to play for you guys. I'm going to look at the complete interview, but this one kind of stood out to me. Warren, I'm sorry to say this, but you a motherfucking liar, okay? I want to go ahead and put that on record. You are a liar, sir, and I uncovered a few of your lies, and I'm about to show some proof. I can't call you a liar without showing pure proof, but we got it. Trust me, we got it, okay? Let's get into this. Shout out to user. Yeah, shout out to you. Let's go ahead and play this.
I had a girl come up to me and say, "Hey, your brother just got in a fight." And obviously, I have a younger brother, and that's who she was talking about, and I was freaked out. So I walked over to the beach, and I didn't walk over. I ran over. I made a beeline. I didn't talk to anybody. Put my drink down and walked over there. And
did you walk or run? You said, no, I didn't walk over there. I ran over there. Anyway, I walked over there.
My brother was kind of angry, and there was a lot going on, but someone was getting pulled away. I don't know who it was. And my brother was like, "Oh, I just got in a fight, and this guy punched me in the face," and I punched him right back. And then went to the ground, and my brother put him in an armbar. And
was Nolan involved in any of this?
Absolutely not.
So why are you talking about it? This interview is about Nolan. Now, let me point out something to you guys that I've noticed. Anytime you're talking to someone, especially about something as prominent as someone losing their life or death, and you're asking them what happened, pay very close attention to when they give you details that you didn't ask for, right? Pay very close attention when you're talking to a person and you're asking them about something serious and they give you information or beat around the bush and give you stuff you didn't even ask for. What relevance was your brother getting into a fight with someone else and him putting him into some type of chokehold having to do with Nolan and him not being here? That makes sense to y'all? Let's keep going.
When I was over there was a bunch of younger guys like my brother's age, and I mean, Nolan, I never saw Nolan over there. Yeah. Absolutely not. And but okay, sorry, I just lost my train of thought.
So you get ready to go. There's an issue with the boat.
Okay, yeah.
And this is
what this led up to that. That's what I was saying.
So the fight happened with your brother, or a little scuffle. I'm assuming that it was cleared up.
I'm sorry. Why are you feeding him what you're asking him? A great interviewer falls back and let him speak. If he's stumbling over his words and he's forgetting where he was talking, just be quiet. Let him chime in and start where he left off. When you're feeding him information, the interview is not coming off as authentic. It's giving that you are coaching. You don't coach. Don't coach him. You can't coach him in this interview because we're looking for facts. We're listening for facts, correct? Be quiet and let him talk.
You got your brother out of that situation, and then how did you find out that this boat is sinking?
Well, I walk back over, and like we're probably around each other for a little bit. I mean, you know, I wasn't thinking anything about it. I told my brother, I pulled my brother off the beach, and I was just like, listen, get in the water, hang out with us, calm down. I mean, he was calm, but I didn't want anything else to happen, you know? And so once I got back over to the boat, I got on the Triton, and the Triton had probably about 6 inches of water up to the transom. And I was freaked out because I'm good friends with Wyatt, and that was his boat. And, you know, no water's coming out, no access water's coming out. And, you know, it was a big issue because I think the reason was because there were so many people getting on and off the boat. And at some point, the boat was very, very crowded. And there was just a lot of people on, so that it drags water in. And eventually, I think over time, we were out there for a couple hours. The boat just started filling up with water. So I popped the starboard side hatch, and the battery was completely underwater. And so the motor wouldn't trim down. I mean, my buddy would go to trim it down from the console, and it'd trim down.
Why is that of any relevance to Nolan not being here? We don't care about the maintenance of the fucking motor or the boat, right? Again, the fact that he's sitting back and allowing this to happen, a great interviewer will steer him away from the maintenance of the boat and go back to why Nolan is not here. That's what I would have done. I don't care about that. That's irrelevant information. In a court of law, Judge Judy would have said, we don't want to hear that. What about Nolan, right? Wouldn't she have done that? In a court of law, they don't want to hear about no fucking maintenance. They want strictly facts about what he asked you. He just asked you about Nolan. You just sat here and let him go off the beaten path. Well, there's water building up, and then there's around the motor, then there's a straighters pump, and we don't give a fuck about none of that. All right. So pay attention, because we're going to look at the interview here in a second. Pay attention to how he is allowing him to just give information that we don't care about. Most people who are lying and covering up things will talk about other things that's irrelevant to take your mind off of the facts that you're trying to listen to. Okay? Yeah. Should I have been an attorney? I don't know. It's just hard to lie to me, okay? It's hard to lie to me because I listen too good. All right. Let's get into this next video. Okay. Did I play this one? Okay. Yeah, I want to play this one. Because this guy here obviously knows them. And he's saying if they don't come on out and tell what's happening, then he is getting ready to start talking. And I have another video of him where he says that people are starting to stalk him and outside of his house watching him. So is it because he's starting to speak up and tell things and threatening to expose those involved? Are they threatening to maybe do something to him? Let's play this video, okay? Let's play this video. Shout out to Nina Paralegal. All right, let's go.
Have one of two choices. One, they can make things right, or two, I leak everything. I leak everything.
You have one or two choices: to come out and tell everything, or I leak everything, right? He has another video where he is very, very appears to be upset, scared, peeping out the window, saying, "Hey guys, they're watching my house now." Who's watching your house? Are the guys that were on the island with Nolan, okay, watching this house and trying to intimidate you to be quiet? Okay, as I feel other people who may know something, which is one of the reasons why they're not speaking out. All right, let's get into some more findings. We're not done. I got some good stuff I'm about to reveal. And Nolan, Warren, I'm about to chop down your lies here in a minute too, sir. I'm glad you started talking in this interview. You should have did what your mama told you to do and shut the hell up. But thanks be to God. That's why my ass was up late last night. I'm a little tired. But that's just how dedicated I am to getting to the damn truth. Because these people here, y'all some slow individuals, okay? Y'all some slow individuals. Let's get into it first. World Net. All right, so new evidence of deleted text and Face ID usage proves Nolan Wells was unalive. Let's get into this. All right, shout out to
what she discovered in the phone blows this entire case open.
As far as we know, his mother, Christine, and his father, Elmo, say they haven't gotten any answers. They, have been asked to turn over his cell phone to the Mississippi law enforcement authorities. But even that is troubling to them because they're saying messages that were deleted from his cell phone. So they want to try to dot every I and cross every T and investigate everything. They said it's very improbable that Nolan would not have wanted his cell phone with him if he was going to stay on the island.
Mm-hmm. The deleted text messages on his phone, his parents found that? Who found that out?
No, well, they got his phone, so they're trying to figure out there's deletions on the phone, and they're trying to look at what is that about. There's so many inconsistencies going on, and so we're going to have, with our investigators and our associates, we're going to list all the inconsistencies down. We just got onto the case yesterday, so we have been staying up late with the family, talking to friends, talking to people who were there on that 4th of July, trying to piece together what really happened to Nolan Wells.
There were things deleted in a dead man's phone that he didn't have access to.
Let's pause. All right, so let's read. According to First World Net, the amount of inconsistencies in the Nolan Wells case is overwhelming after Mississippi law enforcement ruled no foul play, and this was before any investigation. That alone is suspicious because you didn't even investigate to see why there's a body laying on the beach face down. Immediately when y'all see the body, oh, no foul play. Why is that? With no investigation, no autopsy, no nothing, right? This sounds like something that you guys have been doing for quite some time. All right. Before an autopsy was even performed, the parents of Nolan Wells hired Ben Crump, a civil rights attorney, to get some answers. Not only were the text messages deleted out of Nolan's phone, but Face ID was also somehow used to get inside his phone. Didn't I tell y'all that the other day? All right, to begin with, let me say it again, Face ID. I told you guys he had an iPhone, and I have an iPhone. I know how the shit works. I have Face ID. You cannot get into my phone unless you put it to my face. They kept his body on the boat. Follow me. And I stayed up late last night looking at this stuff. I said, this is why when they called for the 911 help for this boat that they said was broken down and they could no longer drive, okay? The maintenance that's just noise, right? That's yeah. So they had to have his body to get into his phone, correct? Because in a minute, you guys are going to hear Warren say that he called Christine, which is Nolan's mother, when they noticed that Nolan was missing on July 5th, the morning of July 5th. He's also going to circle back and say that Nolan's body was found July 5th. No, Nolan's body was found on July 6th. I took notes. Okay. Now, my question is, if you call Christine to ask her if she heard from Nolan, how the fuck she going to hear from Nolan if y'all got his phone? You guys kept his body. Let's go back to that part. Y'all kept his body on the boat and y'all thought about it. Y'all jumped the gun when you got nervous about your boat allegedly not working like it needed to. You didn't realize his body was there once the Coast Guards or whoever was coming to help you guys was going to look on said boat and ask questions about what was going on with this person on this boat. Why is he inebriated? Why is he not speaking? Why is he laying down, not maybe moving? Y'all didn't want those questions, so you canceled the call and said, we're fine. By the time the people came to location where you guys told them that you were, y'all were gone. You had to be gone because you didn't want to answer questions. The call to Christine from Warren was them trying to corroborate their alibi and to spark concern, knowing what had already happened. I don't watch too many crime shows. You got to cover your bases. You got to call mom and say, hey, have you seen Nolan? Have you heard from Nolan? I think Nolan might be missing. Am I on to something? That's why y'all left. Because if y'all were distressed, we got to look at the interview. He was distressed. He was nervous. He was scared because water was filling up in the boat. There was 30-something people out there. They needed 3 boats in order to get people off the boat. I don't know if you guys know about boats. I know a little bit of it. Now, I was reading up last night. If you have 30 people, the size of the boat, you can only have a certain weight. Follow me. For each boat. You needed 3 boats in order to take 30 people from here today. Let's break it up. 30 boats, 10 people, 10 people, 10 people, right? If you got 20 people on one, yes, it's going to weigh it down to where water is going to get into places it should not, which may, 1, stop the boat from cranking, 2, keep the boat from running in the way that it should, where it gets into the motor, gets over the battery, whatever the case may be, which then could spark a fire. That's dangerous to be on the water and your boat blow up on the water or catch on fire, especially when we hear that the length that they were on can go from anywhere from waist up to then drop to 30 feet. Correct? Follow me. All right, so let's get up off this. I'm so excited to bring y'all this information. Let's go ahead and jump into the interview. Then I'm gonna show y'all what I found, because these bitches ain't gonna play with me today. And this Officer Tatum, I'm on your ass too. I'm on your ass too, because it's so crazy for you to sit your chunky ass up here, your big-headed ass, and not ask the questions that need to be asked, and then steering him in the direction you want the interview to go. If you're going to do your due diligence, to be the first one, because you want to be the first to interview somebody, to make it look like you're doing something for a whole internet flex, the least you can do is ask the right questions, right? All right, because I got my own questions here that I'm going to ask you after this video, of course. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Yeah, I'm on y'all ass. Y'all ain't going to play with me. I know a good lie when I hear one, but we about to chop them lies down like damn hibachi today, bitch. All right, let's jump on it. Part 3. Shout out to you. It's your video. Officer Tatum, all right? And YouTube said don't be trying to strike no shit, because according to YouTube new laws, let's go ahead and put that shit on the video. We can definitely use this footage if I build commentary around it. And that's what we're going to do. Let's get into it, shall we?
All right, so I want to be clear with this one thing, because I know you mentioned before. Is there any chance or any knowledge that you have that anybody deleted stuff from his phone?
I mean, Nolan was like a brother to me. Nolan lit up every room he walked in. 4th of July, everybody was out there. Nolan rode out on the Triton, and then we had a Palm Beach, 18 Palm Beach. There was 4 guys on that. The rest of the group, which just ranged from maybe 10 to 15 or 16 people on my buddy's tide line.
Yeah, so y'all pretty much having a good time. And then you guys get ready to leave prematurely.
Right.
And explain that, because you guys got there around 10.
Yeah.
It's now 4:30. Right. People are still out there partying and they're having a good time, but something happened to where it necessitated you guys to get the boat up and running. Can you explain that?
Yeah. So I looked out, I had a girl come up to me and say, "Hey, your brother just got in a fight." And obviously I have a younger brother, and that's what she was talking about. And I was freaked out. So I walked over to the beach, and I didn't walk over. I ran over. I made a beeline. I didn't talk to anybody, put my drink down and walked over there. And my brother was kind of angry, and, there was a lot going on, but someone was getting pulled away. I don't know who it was. And my brother was like, "Oh, I just got in a fight, and this guy punched me in the face," and I punched him right back. And then went to the ground, and my brother put him in an armbar. And
was Nolan involved in any of this?
Absolutely not. When I was over there, it was a bunch of younger guys like my brother's age. And I mean, Nolan, I never saw Nolan over there. Yeah. Absolutely not. And, okay, sorry. I just lost my train of thought.
So you get ready to go. There's an issue with the boat.
Okay. Yeah.
And this is
what this led up to that. That's what I'm saying.
So the fight happened with your brother, or the scuffle. I'm assuming that it was cleared up.
You're right.
You got your brother out of that situation. And then how did you find out that this boat is sinking?
Well, I walk back over, and we're probably around each other for a little bit. I mean, I wasn't thinking anything about it. I told my brother, I pulled my brother off the beach, and I was just like, "Listen, get in the water, hang out with us, calm down." I mean, he was calm, but I didn't want anything else to happen, And so once I got back over the boat, I got on the Triton, and the Triton had probably about 6 inches of water up to the transom. And I was freaked out, because I'm good friends with Wyatt, and that was his boat. And, no water's coming out, no access water's coming out. And, it was a big issue, because I think the reason was because there were so many people getting on and off the boat. And at some point the boat was very, very crowded, and there was just a lot of people on. So that it drags water in. And eventually, I think over time, we were out there for a couple hours, the boat just started filling up with water. So I popped the starboard side hatch, and the battery the battery was completely underwater. And so the motor wouldn't trim down. I mean, my buddy would go to trim it down from the console and it'd trim down and then it'd come right back up. And so why?
The boat it wouldn't trim down. He wouldn't try to do it. It trimmed down, but then it wouldn't trim down.
Trying to throw a rear anchor. So we're caught and he's, yelling at people. Everybody's kind of freaking out. And eventually I'm like yelling at other people, trying to tell them, calm down. Like, the boat could possibly sink, and I'm not paying attention to everyone around me. I was paying attention to my buddy's boat. And that's what all my other friends that were on that boat were doing, trying to solve the problem.
So you're on the boat now. The water is getting up to the point where the boat may be disabled to where you couldn't get it out from Horn Island. So what happens after that?
Wyatt jumps to the water, tries to throw a rear anchor, and my buddy Byer, you're sitting looking, trying to pull trash out the bilge. And the bilge is basically a pump that pulls the excess water out the boat. So the bilge was failing to work. So any excess water was just sitting in the boat. It wasn't getting pumped out. And I looked over the gunnel and I looked at the release hole for the bilge and it was even with the water. So, I mean, we're all freaking out. All of our, we're not focused on anything else other than the boat. Well, then eventually my buddy Bart on the tide line is like, I'm going to pull y'all out to where we're out of all this, all this chaos. Cause we left at 4:30 and there were still just as many people there, if not more than when we got there. I mean, probably around the same amount. I mean, it was crazy. Like there was a lot of people. And eventually Bart pulls us out. We left at 4:30, but we really weren't pulled out away from everybody. We were probably about a quarter mile out and we had the towing strap pulled from, Bart's port side cleat or starboard side cleat. And he was on our starboard side bow. And so he was rubbing on his power pole. So Bart turned around, pulled up next to our boat, and we were just trying to get it situated. So that's when Wyatt called Cito. And Wyatt was like, calls him, because the cell service isn't great at the island, but once you can use your phone, but stuff might not descend. And it's not great. You got maybe one bar, it won't work that well. But once you get a little off the island, you have cell coverage. And even on the island, like I called my mom when we were on the island, it was fine. Like we had enough cell coverage to make a phone call or shoot a text over, but you don't have enough cell coverage to like send a picture, for example. So Wyatt.
So I want to go back.
Yeah,
I want to touch on that real quick because the phone thing came up at some point. And so was it when you guys got off the boat?
Yeah.
I mean, were people taking their phones off the boat, or is that not typical? Because I know that Nolan's phone was left on the boat,
right?
Even though after you guys had left. So can you explain that? Because I think people need to understand this a little clearer.
Yeah.
Was it typical for people to have their phones left on boats, or did they keep their phones in the water?
Yeah. I mean, everybody.
Mind you, part 2 of this video, you already asked him this question when you guys were standing out by the lake. So I'm not sure why this is relevant again in part 3 of this video.
Everybody kind of goes out to the island to get away from, their phones and everything else. I know I got on the boat to get away from, just the regular world. And no, when you're waist deep in water, no one's carrying their phone in their hand, especially at Horn Island. The water has been very, very murky because of the rain. And when you.
This is the honest. And I've been to the beach several times and had my phone in my hand with the water up to my knees, just taking pictures of the sunset or skyline, whatever.
It's just very risky. If you're gonna have your phone in the water, some people might for a couple minutes and like maybe taking some pictures of each other. I know a lot of girls like to take pictures in the water at Horn Island. Guys do too. Like people like to take pictures, and but a lot of the pictures you see are on the boat for a reason. And so, no, I mean, if someone is on their phone in the water, they're using it real quick and then putting it right back on the boat. We were all waist deep in water. No one's sitting there scrolling on their phone. I never saw that once. And I've never seen that once. And I've been out the Highland my whole life. I mean, that's just not something people do. People aren't on their phones. And everybody has their phone, yes, but it's always on the boat. No one's getting off the boat with their phone. So.
And so you guys get ready to leave out of there, getting towed out.
Yeah.
And then where's Nolan in this situation?
Well, the last time I saw Nolan was 3:00. And Nolan was cradling a girl in his arms, Katie. Katie. And Katie, Nolan was sitting there. And the last time I saw him, I looked at Nolan, and Nolan was like shaking his head, laughing. And I was like, dude, you crazy. I was like just joking with him. And but anyway, Nolan, that was the last time I laid eyes on him. But when we were leaving, obviously, no one is getting left at the island that came with us unless they demanded to, be there and asked, this is a very common thing at Horn Island. When you're out there, a lot of people ride out there with someone and in with somebody else all the time. I've done that 100 times. You know, it's a very common thing. But Nolan was sitting by the boat with that Katie girl, and my buddy yelled for Nolan, get on the boat. We're leaving. The boat's having issues. And like, no, he didn't say that, but he was panicking. Nolan, get the F on the boat. Get on the boat. And Nolan said, no, I'm staying out here. I'm going to ride in with somebody else. And it's not uncommon to hear, but it's not like my buddy asked him one time. My buddy asked Nolan multiple times to get on the boat. Nolan, get on the boat. Get on the boat. We're leaving. If you're coming, you got to come now. And Nolan made a decision to stay out on the island. And like he said, you know.
How many people heard that? Were there
at least 5. Everyone that was on our boat right there, because the Palm Beach had already left.
Okay, if he's yelling that and the boats are in close proximity, more people would have heard that, right? I remember in part 2, you said that the boats were in very close proximity to where you guys parked your boat. So if he's yelling, Nolan, get the F on the boat. If he's panicking, I'm pretty sure it wasn't in a low monotone. So other people would have heard this yell or this cry for Nolan to get on the boat. If he said it, especially multiple times, I'm pretty sure he's looking at all this water filling up on the boat, and he's going to be yelling, and he's going to say, Nolan, get the F on the boat multiple times, and it's going to be loud enough for other people to hear. So I'm pretty sure more than 5 people heard that.
My buddy went ahead and went home on the Palm Beach, and 3 guys on the way back. And Nolan wasn't the only person to ride out there with us and in with somebody else. I mean, we had multiple people in our group that rode out with us and rode in on someone else's boat. And that, like I said, that's not an uncommon thing to do. You know, I mean, a lot of people do that. I could name probably 50 people out there that day that ran out with somebody and ran back in with somebody else. So, I mean, it's not like it's an uncommon thing, but it's not like we just left him there, or my friends just left him there. Nolan made a decision to stay on the island after my friends asked him multiple.
So if Nolan said, nah, guys, I'm going to stay here. All right. Now, I already found where Katie said, yeah, no, Nolan didn't stay with me. Let me get the notes. Katie mentioned that she was leaving with her brother and sister-in-law, and said that Nolan told her that he was getting ready to leave with his friends. That would be y'all. So where's this coming from? Where you're saying that Nolan said he was going to stay behind with Katie, when Katie said she was getting ready to leave with her sister-in-law and her brother. But that Nolan was leaving with his friends. That would be y'all. Right? That's what was said. I had to make my notes because I didn't want to forget that. He's lying. And hypothetically, if Nolan said, no, I'm going to stay back here with Katie. Now, mind you, he tried to act like he didn't know Katie. It's going to be something that he says later on that's going to be a red flag to me. All right? Now, if Nolan says, I'm going to stay back with Katie. This is my girl. They booed up, cuddled up, as he says. If he made that decision, why not give him his phone and his keys if you say it's not uncommon for them to catch a boat ride with someone else, or if he's riding back with Katie, which we know now that that's not what happened. Correct? Why didn't you give him his phone? Why would y'all leave the island and not give him his phone and his keys if y'all know he ain't coming back with you? Let's keep going. That makes no sense.
And told him to get on the boat, and he decided to stay.
And I heard the girl that he was with, Katie, had text somebody that she heard people yelling for Nolan to get on. Is that true?
And I have a picture of that. She texted my buddy, and the next day everybody was panicking and everybody's texting Katie, you know, because she was obviously seen with Nolan the whole day at the island. Katie sent a message to my buddy the next day and said, you know, this is the last time I saw him, you know, he's really sweet. But she also mentioned that the last time she saw Nolan was when my buddy was yelling at him to get on the boat. And she was right there to see that Nolan decided not to.
Yeah, so you guys get in the...
Nolan didn't go back with her. So why would she say that she heard him yelling if Nolan was right there? If Nolan was in ear's reach, let's go back. If Nolan was in ear's reach to where he could hear Wyatt yelling at him saying, Nolan, repeatedly, Nolan, get on the effing boat. And you just said that Nolan was cuddled up with Katie. I just told you guys that Katie had already said, and I saw it somewhere else, that she did not leave with, that Nolan didn't leave with her. She left with her brother and sister-in-law. And that Nolan said, I'm leaving with my friends. Why are you sitting here saying that this boy was leaving with Katie? And then the next day she's texting your friend. Y'all act like y'all didn't know Katie. So one, who got her number to even be texting her the next day is weird to me. Y'all act like y'all didn't know Katie. This Katie girl. Let's get into it.
You start to get towed in and you make it back. Now explain how that you get to the point where you were concerned about Nolan? Because obviously you said, hey, Nolan, y'all need to, or somebody, not
when
you,
did I get
but
to that point?
You guys had made mention Nolan need to get on a boat.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Yeah.
You guys get back to wherever you're going.
Right.
Explain that. Did you guys go back to somebody's house, or you guys like what happened there? And then when did you feel like, well, wait a minute, where's Nolan?
Right. Okay. Well, running in was very chaotic. I mean, Nolan chose to stay on the island, so my focus wasn't on anything else other than the boat, because if the boat doesn't get in, then no one gets in. I don't want to sink out there on my buddy's boat, and no one does. But my buddy Wyatt jumped out and pulled the plug on the boat once we kind of got out there, because he got the motor to trim down. And the motor trimmed down, my buddy Wyatt pulled the plug, and we planed off. We moved all the way to the front of the boat so we could plane off. And eventually we planed off, and the boat was running. So when you're planed off and you have water in the boat and you're hauling, we're going pretty fast. We're going probably 40, 42 miles an hour. And so all that excess water that was built up in the boat is coming out of the boat. So, I mean, that's what we had to do. So we ran into Fort Bayou, and we didn't just run straight to my buddy's grandparents' house. We ran into Fort Bayou. A couple of us jumped in the water, and Wyatt, like the whole reason for the stop was so Wyatt could hop in and put the plug back in the boat. So then after that, we went and docked it, and I went back to my buddy's house, and we ate and napped for a little bit. It was a long day at the island, so we were all tired. And eventually we go over to a girlfriend of mine. She was having people over for 4th of July. We were doing like fireworks and stuff. So we all went over there to swim and hang out. And I
got some information and some tea and evidence that Nolan Wells was alive on July the 5th. I got some evidence. Let's go.
From this picture that I've seen online of Nolan in the water in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
Where is this picture associated with? Because you said you guys went back to swim. Nolan wasn't with you. Yeah. So where's this picture at? Like, what is it? What's the context around that picture that's been floating?
That picture is taken on June 27th, a week before the 4th of July.
You a motherfucking lie. The picture that he's talking about that y'all seen, I showed it on my show as well, where they're all in the pool. Nolan is circled in the picture. Nolan was there for the pool party. Now, y'all might have had a pool party on July 27th, but I'm getting ready to show y'all here in a second that on July 5th, Nolan Wells was alive and well, because he was in that fucking pool. And your ass was in there too, Warren. Wyatt was there too. Bart was there too. Let's keep going.
July, we all went to a friend of ours in Pass Christian. We have a lot of friends from Bay St. Louis, Pass Christian. We all went over there to hang out. And,
and Nolan was in that picture.
Nolan was in that picture. And if you look in the picture, my arm is around Nolan in that picture, And, I mean, that was a week before the 4th of July. So that picture is not associated within even the same. I mean, that was like a week before. So, yeah.
So you guys are now at swimming and having a good time at a lady friend's house.
Right. I never got to the pool. I talked to her dad for a while. And, I mean, all my friends were downstairs. I went upstairs, talked to her dad. We were talking about boats and stuff. And, I've been with my friends all day. I was just talking to everybody. But
so you talked to the young lady's dad, and then how long was it before you realized, or you guys realized that, where's Nolan at? I
mean, I went back downstairs, and all my friends were just hanging out. And my buddy Wyatt had addressed, talking about Nolan. And I was like, well, where is Nolan? Have y'all heard from him? And he was like, no, we haven't. And I was like, okay, well, it's a little concerning. Like, I mean, I'm not freaking out or anything, but like, I'm trying to find out where Nolan is. So I texted Javon, and I was like, hey, and also a couple other buddies that I had at the island. I was like, hey, have y'all seen Nolan? Did he ride in with y'all? And all the boys were like, no. Well, I texted Javon, and I was like, hey, can you send me Miss Christine's number? Because I hadn't heard from Nolan. And if she hasn't heard from Nolan, then I'm calling the Coast Guard. And so eventually Javon sends me her number.
Who is her? That's
Miss Christine.
Miss Christine is
Nolan's mom.
Nolan's mom.
Yeah. And I walked down to the dock, because I mean, there was a lot of people. It was not a lot, but there was probably 15 of our friends there. And I was just like, walked down to the dock with a couple of my buddies, and I got on the phone. I called Miss Christine, called her the first time. She didn't answer. I called her a second time, and I got on the phone with her, and I asked her if she had heard from Nolan. She said no. And I said, all right, well, don't freak out. I'm going to call the Coast Guard. And this was at about 11 o'clock.
So what's your intent in calling the Coast Guard, right? Because right now, Nolan could be with a chick. He could be with somebody else.
Right.
He could have gone back with somebody else. What made you?
Now, you already said that he was the last person he was seen with cuddling up with Katie, who we already confirmed was that Nolan did not stay back with. Y'all see how this story is breaking down? We've already confirmed that he did not stay with Katie. Katie says that he went with his friends. All right. Now, why would you be concerned if you know that he was with Katie chilling with Katie, which was some girl that he allegedly was interested in. This person you say you don't know, which then y'all say y'all text later. All right. So my question is, why would you reach out to the Coast Guard and be alarmed that something is wrong with him if you knew that he was okay when y'all left to stay with Katie and coming back with Katie? Right. Let's keep going.
Concerned enough that you felt like you couldn't wait it out anymore. You had to call the Coast Guard.
Well, I mean, like I said, my friends and I have been on the water our whole life. Stuff happens. People die all the time. I know people that have died out there. And, you know, it's a fun place to be, but it's also a very, very dangerous place to be if you're not handling it right. And Nolan, so I hadn't heard from him. And obviously, I'm thinking I'd way rather be safe than sorry. I mean, I would rather call the Coast Guard 100 times and lose my mind over it, my buddy be okay, than, you know, not, and, you know, me not know where he is and him not be okay. And so I called the Coast Guard and I talked to them on the phone for like 20 minutes, gave him a description, what Nolan was wearing, the last place we were at, the last time I saw him, who were we with, what boat we were on, the conditions of the water, just, you know, just a summary. And I called Miss Christine back after and I talked to her and I said, I got in contact with the Coast Guard. I'm not sure who she called or, you know, what she did, but I think she said she was going to make a couple phone calls to either DMR or Jackson County Sheriff's Office. And I mean, yeah, I was thinking worst case scenario. Like, I mean, you know, I would way rather be safe than sorry about this, you know?
Yeah. So you called. So it seems like you called mom immediately.
Right.
Probably the first phone call that she got from anybody.
That's the first phone call, like at least I made. And I would assume that's the first phone call she got from anybody because Javon hadn't called her. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but Javon hadn't called her. And I mean, I was just worried about my friend, you know, stuff happens out there, boat problems, it could be anything. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happens.
Pause. You just said people die all the time out there on their island. So why would you feel comfortable leaving Nolan out there on an island that you say that, you know, multiple people have died out there? So you know it's a dangerous place to be. It's get ready to be sundown soon. So why would you leave him there? And one, why would you leave without his phone and his keys so that he can call someone in the event that he did run into some type of an emergency? So you felt comfortable getting on the boat with your phone, of course, and your friends, and not bringing your friend back when you've said, first of all, in part two, let's go back to that because I listened very well. You said in part two, you know, this is the first time I've really ever been around a situation with death. I don't really know about death like that. But in part three is, I know several people who died, many people who died out on Horn Island before. But you made the decision to leave an 18-year-old boy who's you said was your friend since childhood on a island, not knowing one, how he's going to get back, without his phone, without his keys, no way to communicate to anyone. That just sounds a little sus to me. And then you're the first one to call his mom after you said that you just knew Nolan was okay. Y'all done went out to eat the next day. Y'all done went and hung out. Y'all done had a pool party and every damn thing else
out there. And I was just worried about my friend.
And so you guys made that call, nothing that night. And I'm assuming you wake up the next day and then what happens?
I wake up the next day at about 7:30 and my dad had texted me because obviously Nolan's photo was all over Facebook. And, you know, I just saw it everywhere and I was freaked out because I was like, oh my gosh, like, you know, I assumed, you know, Nolan's just, you know, we had been drinking all day and like, you know, that he's just sleeping somewhere and, you know, that he's okay. But I didn't want to believe that if we didn't know for sure. So, I mean, next day I woke up and my stepdad walked in my room. He said, hey, like, have they heard anything about Nolan? Like, what's going on? Because I hadn't spoke to him. And he was like, I was like, yeah, no, like, I don't know. I just gotten up. And he was like, all right, well, we're going to get on the boat and looking for him. And I was like, okay, yeah. So I got my buddy Ricky, I got my buddy Brooks, and I got my buddy Jax. My mom came on the boat with my stepdad and I, and we all went out there and looked. When I got out there, there was.
Y'all buying this? Sound off. Comment, please. Let's get through this ad, okay? Sound off, honey.
Dozens of DMR boats, helicopters, planes flying over Horn Island. And this wasn't just Horn Island. There was also Ship Island they were looking at, I'm sure, and Chandelier Island, Petty Boy. I mean, it wasn't just Horn Island specifically, but where I was at Horn, there were boats everywhere. And not just like random boats, but like, you know, marine resource boats and, you know, cops and, you know, the whole nine. Like, it wasn't like there was just a couple boats looking for Nolan. There was planes and helicopters and, you know, everybody. So.
And then after this, you know, obviously they didn't find Nolan that day.
Right.
And so what was your reaction like when you heard the news, or how did you hear the news that they found Nolan's body?
Well, the next day, it got to be about 1 o'clock on July 5th. And I was like, my mind started to turn. I was like, man, you know, if he's not awake yet, like, where is he? Like, you know, like I got very, very worried. And, you know, I was with my buddy Brooks the next day, and we're driving, and my buddies were texting my group chat. They were like, hey, listen, and I got a phone call from my buddy Trace, and he was like, hey man, they just found his body.
July 5th, you got a call saying that they found Nolan? They found Nolan July 6th at 8:45 a.m. So how you get a call the day before that they found Nolan when he seemed viable at a pool party on July the 5th? I'm gonna say it again. He just said, let me back it up. Y'all don't think I'm lying in here.
So like I got very, very worried. And, you know, I was with my buddy Brooks the next day, and we're driving, and my buddies were texting my group chat. They were like, hey, listen, and I got a phone call from my buddy Trace, and he was like, hey man, they just found his body. And I was like, I wanted to have hope, but it was really, really hard to have hope when they haven't found your buddy in the last 2 days. And, but there's still a little bit of hope there, you know, like maybe, you know, he's not gone, and maybe, you know, he's okay. But my reaction was just, I was with my buddy Brooks, and I broke down. I mean, I haven't experienced death a lot, but especially with someone I'm as close with as Nolan.
You haven't experienced death a lot, but you just said that you know of multiple people who died on Horn Island, like multiple people. So you know that you've experienced that, you've been around that, right? You've never been around death like that, or you never experienced death like that. But you just said 5 minutes ago in the same video that you know multiple people who died on Horn Island, but you were okay to leave Nolan there, allegedly.
Nolan, and I mean, I broke down, and I sat there on my buddy Brooks' shoulder, and I cried, and I was upset. I made a couple phone calls to my buddies and checked up on my buddies, because, you know, I care about my buddies too. I mean, like, we're all experienced this. Like, we all realized at the same time. We all heard the news at the same time. Like, you know, he's gone. And so it was really, really hard on me. I mean, I've never experienced something like this, and it was traumatic. I mean, I could tell you where and when I was there, when I got that phone call, you know, where I was. And I just remember, like, it was insane. Like, I can't even put into words how upset I was, you know, and how upset my friends were.
Why are you not upset right now? Why are you talking about it? This is traumatic. This is your friend from childhood. There's no tears. There's no, hold on, let me gather myself. There's no, you know, there's no nothing. Your eyes are not watering up. You're staring straight ahead like you're trying to figure out what you're going to say next. Yeah, I read body language too. Sure the fuck do. Right? You can't even look at him when you're saying that, because there's no sincerity in what you're saying. This is your friend who you say you just found out that this person is no longer here. Mind you, this is 2 weeks ago Nolan was unalive. So this is still fresh for you. If I found out that my friend as a child, that something traumatic happened to them, when I'm telling a story, and I'm not even a crier, my voice is going to crack, my eyes are going to water up, my body language, I'm going to get uncomfortable. I'm kind of move around in my chair a little bit because I'm uncomfortable talking about somebody who meant so much to me as a child. They came to my house, spent the night to my house, ate at my house. You know, we hung out together. We played sports together. You're like, he's like a brother to you. So anyone that's like a brother to you is very close to you. So when you're talking about that person not being here anymore, it should strike something in you, some emotion, some type of pause, some type of something. The fact that you got to stare straight ahead and not give eye contact to the person that's interviewing you clearly shows that there's some deception. We're going to look at it. Let's keep going.
So,
and then comes the stories and backlash and the craziness. I mean, you guys are now hearing that you're responsible for it. You did it. You killed Nolan. So what was the next step? Did you guys ever engage with police or?
Yeah. So the first time I talked to the police was July 7th. I talked to the lead investigator, and I told him my whole story, top to bottom.
The day of that you say you found out he was unalive, you should have took your ass to the police station and sat down there and gave them every account that you knew about Nolan. Why on the 7th? One, he was missing on the 4th. The 5th, y'all hadn't heard anything. That should have sparked something to say, hey, I filed a missing persons report on my friend that was supposed to be on Horn Island, and we haven't heard from him. I want to put out a missing persons report for my friend. Y'all didn't even do that. Y'all didn't even do that. That's on July 5th. You know why you didn't do that on July 5th? Because he was still here. And I'm getting ready to prove it. July 6th, you said you heard, or that y'all, that's when you found out that he was passed away, whatever. at 7 something in the morning. I'm gonna say it again. Nolan was found July the 6th. But Warren said he got the call about Nolan on July the 5th. Nolan's still alive July 5th. I'm about to prove it. The body was found. Nolan's body was found, because I dug and did my research, July the 6th at 8:45 a.m. Your numbers don't match. Your story ain't matching. Let's keep going.
Dotted every I, crossed every T. I told them everything I knew, every little detail. I mean, everything I could, tell them to try to figure something out,
Well, you don't want to talk to the cops, or
no, of course
some other
not.
guys?
Every person that was included, especially, the guy.
Included in what? What were you included in? What were you included? Everybody that was included in what? Did y'all catch that? Or are you the only person that spoke to the cops? He said, no, everybody that was included. What were y'all included? Included means that y'all were doing something. Y'all all together. Did y'all catch included? Words. It's the words for me.
As I see on social media, everybody cooperated with the police fully. Nolan was with us on the way out, and he rode out on the boats with us. So, we were the first people to get questioned. We cooperated with the police the first time they called us, and, we talked to them, as soon as they needed, and we were fully cooperative.
And we see Benjamin Crump coming to town, made it about race.
Right.
What's your feeling about that? Do you think that any of this has anything to do with race, or, because obviously something happened to Nolan. It appears that you guys may not have been involved at all. When I say may not, it's no evidence that you were involved at all. Right. You guys had left. Right. But do you?
That's circumstantial. How do you know? Why do you have such a problem with Ben Crump coming in? He's a civil rights attorney. That's who they chose to hire to investigate this situation. What's wrong with him coming into town to do his investigation? That's his job.
Think that there's a racial component to any of this?
Of course not. I think if Nolan ever felt the most little bit uncomfortable around us, which we never gave him a reason to, but if he did, he wouldn't hang out around us. But if you go look on, like my friends have had Nolan posted all over our social medias.
Y'all deleted that. I'm going to show that here as well. How are we going to go and look for something that ain't there no more? Y'all lawyered up, deactivated accounts, and started taking shit down. So how the fuck are we going to go look at something that ain't there?
Since freshman year in high school, like if Nolan ever felt uncomfortable with us, why would he be hanging out with us all the time? Every day we're back from college, we hang out and we're around each other all the time. So absolutely not. I would never look at Nolan any other way than I would any of my other friends. He was like a brother to me.
You guys have been interviewed by law enforcement. Mm-hmm. All of you guys have given statements. But then I think that there's a part associated with this that's being rumored out in the public. And that is the situation with the cell phone, potential deletion of messages. When did that occur, and what happened there?
All right, so part 4 is coming. We got to wait to hear about that. All right, let's get about that. So he says that he was emotional, that he was freaking out, right? That's what you said. Hold on. I need to know, how were you freaking out? I got to lighten the mood a little bit, y'all. I'm sorry. Okay. I found this video. I'm sorry. I got to laugh a little bit because this shit is so heavy. I'm so sorry. Give me a second. Let me put this up. I don't know why I clicked on it and took it off the damn thing. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. I got to play this because damn. I need to lighten the mood. This is so heavy, and it's starting to piss me off a little bit because I know he's lying. He's not being 100% authentic and truthful in this damn interview. And this Tatum dude is just sitting here and feeding and coaching him into what to say. And obviously he has such a huge problem with Ben Crump. I don't know why. I don't know why he would have such a problem with Ben Crump, but hold on. I gotta come back to this shit. This is irritating me. Hold on, y'all. When I tell y'all I'm so tired, I went to bed late last night trying to get all this damn information for y'all. Hold up. Ooh, that's tea. I gotta get that too. Damn, I'm getting so many alerts over here. I may have to add that to the show. All right, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Okay. Okay, let me get that back up. Hold on, there you go. Let's see. I know if that was my friend, and like I said, I ain't even no real crier. I've lost some for shit. I lost one of my classmates for COVID. And that shit made me emotional, and I don't even be crying like that. I don't even be crying like that. That shit made me hella emotional when I saw that. I said, I know you damn lying. My friend caught COVID, you guys, and passed away. That shit had me emotional like hell. And I'm not even no person who be crying like that. But I damn sure broke down and cried over that. That was my classmate who I went to school with. And she caught COVID. She was a nurse, like a traveling nurse. And she caught COVID and she died, y'all. Damn sure did. That shit got to me. I thought about that shit like all day. All damn day. But my question is, all right, you emotional. This is how you supposed to cry for your friend that you say you love. Shout out to the 318 watching me. That you love that ain't here no more. This how you cry for a friend, Warren.
Oh, somewhere deep down in my heart, I still love you.
That's how you cry for a friend. It was like your brother.
Somewhere deep down in my heart, I still love you.
Yep. That's how you supposed to cry right there for a real friend, right? That's all we need. Moving on. Now let's go ahead and look at some evidence, okay? Let's look at some evidence because we love evidence over here, honey. We love it, don't we? Let me stop sharing it because I don't need it no more. All right, boom. Boom. All right, let's get into. Yeah, that's how you cry for a real friend. That's your brother. You're supposed to break down. You're supposed to broke down in the interview like that, right? Mr. Tatum should have been trying to comfort you in the interview. You didn't shed one tear, not one sniffle, nothing. You straight faced like hell. This shit just happened barely 2 weeks ago, and you over it that quick? Oh my. So y'all know that this is the DA who told everybody that works under her not to say nothing to nobody. Any questions, direct them straight to her. All right. Now let's go ahead and talk about some facts and some notes that I wrote down. All right. I played the video for y'all yesterday when she said they're gonna work diligently. She don't want nobody saying nothing. Come straight to her if they got questions, and that they are still thoroughly investigating this. Also, of course, the FBI has now stepped in on this case, right? Let's get into it. Now, as I told you guys, Warren, which was just in the interview, said that Wyatt was there and that Wyatt asked Nolan to get on the boat. All right. Warren said that Katie texted his friend the next day. Mind you, he didn't even really know Katie like that. He said, this Katie girl. But they tried to act like I said, they did not know Katie. Let's talk about some facts. Until July 4th. So when did they get her phone number to communicate to her after Nolan became missing? Who got her number? Because all y'all were on the boat, remember? Everybody that was leaving with them that day was on the boat to get ready to leave, except who y'all said was Nolan, right? So how and when did y'all get Katie's number, this Katie girl? When did y'all get her number to call her back and communicate to her after July 4th with y'all, which is when y'all said y'all last saw her, okay? Right. Y'all say I made y'all spit your Pepsi out. I'm saying if that's your friend, that's how you're supposed to cry when your friend missing. That's like a brother to you, right? So let's keep going. July 5th on video. Let's keep going. All right, so this is the DA. I want y'all to see that, okay? Y'all remember this? I showed y'all. They're saying that this could allegedly be Nolan. All right, let's keep going. I showed y'all this yesterday. Shout out again to Nina, the paralegal. All right, shout out. Okay, they're saying that this allegedly could have been Nolan. A lot of people say, oh, that ain't him. He had a bigger afro. Black people, when y'all get in the water with an afro, what our hair do? Put it in the comments. Y'all stop playing. If you have an afro, when we wet our hair, if he was swimming that day, what is his hair going to do? If he picked out his hair to go into the water and he got his hair wet, what do our hair do when it get wet, when it's in the natural state? It dries, right? Thank you. Just say it. It's okay. Y'all can just say it. I have shrinks when it gets wet in the natural state. Mine do that shit too. All right, real curly. All right. Okay. So let's keep going. That's Warren. I think that's Warren because that's the same hat he got on. All right. These are all the boys that were there. Okay. So we can place them there. Oh, stop. This is the alleged pool party. Let's get into it, shall we? It's nothing like a good old time stamp, right? Because Nolan was there. Nolan was there. We could place him there. On July the 5th. Y'all say y'all ain't seen or heard from Nolan since July the motherfucking 4th. So tell me why I got a picture of Nolan at this pool party. On what date is this? July the what? You motherfucking lying. Look at the top of my screen. I'm gonna leave it up there for a minute. Ben Crump, I hope you're watching this because I'm gonna send it to you. What that date say? What that date say at the top of my screen? 7-05-2026. At 22:47 and 13 hours is when this picture was taken from a camera at this location. Right? So how he gonna be in two places one time? Y'all tell me that. How? Y'all see at the top of my screen, 7-5-2026. Y'all see that? All right, let's keep going. We gotta look at some lies. 30 people. Shout out to Kim Brawley. 30 people of us. He said it was 30 of us out there that y'all had 3 votes. We already talked about that. Okay, let's keep going. Who is this? Oh my God, that's Nolan. Oh my God, that's Nolan. Who is this with his arm around Nolan? Oh, that's Warren. Warren. The last time you saw Nolan was July the 4th when y'all told him to get on the effing boat, remember? Why you lie in your interview, though? Warren, why you say last time y'all? There's a lot of people there. That's y'all with all this damn beer. Let's go down. What's this? This is the same basketball goal. They said that Nolan was over there throwing up blood and gasping for air. Why you got beer cans and all y'all underage, right? That's a crime. The mama should be charged. But who is this? This is Nolan. This is Nolan, right? Let's go back. Oh, same pool on July the 5th. Nolan is in this pool. The same pool party. So how can he be two places at the same time? How could he be at the island and in the pool? I don't know. Let's keep going, shall we? It's just, I don't know. Okay, so while we're doing that, now these pictures are from Nolan Wells' friends' social media before they removed him. So my question is, these are pictures. Why these are nothing wrong with these pictures, right? These are just friends hanging out. These are just, from Evan, Wyatt, okay? These are just y'all hanging out with Nolan. Just, some pictures where y'all just hanging out as friends. Why would these pictures need to be deleted? Nothing wrong with these pictures. Ain't nobody choking him. Ain't nobody, being aggressive towards him. Nothing. So why? My question, why would these pictures need to be deleted? Most of which are Wyatt's pictures, which kind of lets me know that Wyatt might be the ringleader in some of the bullshit, correct? Oh, let's keep going. So why would y'all delete these? Why would y'all delete these? All right, so the same picture on this very same day. All right. So they said, y'all heard Wyatt say that they went to a female friend's house. Okay. Went to a female friend's house for a pool party on July the 5th. Right? Same picture. Boom, boom. What's that date? July the 5th. I'm proving it. Nolan was there on July 5th. Y'all saw it. Let's go. Boom. There he is. Okay. That's them. There's Nolan. Now, he lied. That's the same picture. Follow me. Same picture. He told the interviewer that they had a party way back on June the 27th, which was a week or so before, or a week maybe, before July the 4th. Why is this the same picture, same stance? This is you, Warren, with your arm around Nolan. Do y'all see what's going on here? Same picture, same pool party. Why is there a different date where you guys are trying to purposely not place Nolan at this alleged pool party? Nolan was still alive on July the 5th, and I just proved it. Because this pool party took place on, let's go back. Look at a timestamp. Timestamp don't lie. You a motherfucking lie. What that date say? July the 5th. That's the same party. That's the same party. Nolan was there. Nolan was there. So how did y'all not hear from him since July the 4th? How did he stay back with Katie, this person y'all never saw ever, didn't even know her, but y'all reached out to her the next day, July the 5th? Did Nolan stay on the island and y'all didn't hear from him again, but y'all went to a pool party? And I'm here to pull up the persons that y'all went to her party, and she explained what happened at this party. I didn't see him, but y'all saw him at the party. He was at the pool party. So that puts him at the pool party, and he came back with y'all, but you tried to lie and use Katie, not thinking that Katie was going to say, oh, fuck no. You thought Katie was going to corroborate y'all lie. Again, Katie mentions that she was leaving with her brother and sister-in-law, and Nolan told her that he was going back with his friends. He did. We got him here. He's here at the pool party. The one that you just said on video that y'all had the next day. So y'all partying it up. No, y'all done left this boy on an island that you said several people that you know of died. Right? That's Nolan right there. That's you there. That's all of y'all that were there. Okay. But then you put here that this alleged party happened the week before on 6/27 when I got a timestamp of 7/5. Yeah. Let's keep on. All right. So the DA, check this out that I dug up too, because I was up real late last night. The DA, put faces. Her. Okay, follow me. The DA is friends with Warren's mom, actually, who is a judge. So this puts her in direct conflict of interest in this case. If Warren turns out to be a suspect or person of interest, which he is, right? Did the police not contact you and get a statement from you? You just said they contacted everyone who Nolan went out on the boat with. So you guys would now become persons of interest, correct? So DA, you shouldn't even be on this case because Warren's mom, who is a judge in Mississippi, who hears cases under you because you're the DA, it's a conflict of interest. You shouldn't even be over this case, period. Correct? You shouldn't be over this case. You should have nothing to do with this case. Why are you telling everybody don't talk to nobody but you? Why? Because you want to know every piece of information that come in, probably so you can give to Ashley, the judge, which is Warren's mom. Only talk to me. That's why the sheriff wouldn't say nothing. Because you told him, don't you say shit to nobody. If anybody asks you anything, any developments, bring it to me. So now everything is hush, hush. Like Carmelo's case. And the fact that they were very close friends with the judge. Judge, you were seen in pictures with the Metcalfs. Okay? Same situation right here. It's a conflict of interest. You shouldn't be on the case, DA. Shouldn't be on the case, period. All right. Now, they had to have Nolan's body with them because they had to get in his phone. Nolan being an 18-year-old, he's at the island, probably taking pictures of girls, taking pictures of his friends, which places him with all of these people who may be suspects in this case. They had to get that shit out of his phone. And the only way that they could have got into his phone, and I just showed you guys, was by face recognition. In order to get into someone's phone by face recognition, that person would have to be there or in the vicinity of said phone in order for them to get in the phone. Why would one need to delete pictures from someone else's phone? Right? So I wouldn't think that if Nolan was viable and living and well, that he would approve of you guys taking his phone and putting it up to his face if he was alive. Only people that would do that is if he was either 1, knocked out, 2, drugged, or 3, unalived. Correct? I'm just saying. I don't think that especially he was on the phone saying, give me my effing phone. That means he didn't want you in his motherfucking phone. So the fact that y'all use face recognition to get into his phone, that lets me know that he was not awake when this interaction happened with his phone. So y'all put the phone up to his face and went into his phone without his permission. That's a crime. Okay. So 1, his phone was stolen because you didn't give it to him. And when you called his mama, you didn't alert Christine that you even had his phone or that y'all had his keys, right? She had to track it through the 360 app. So why she got to look for something if you had already called her? I'm saying. All right. Let's keep going. So the only way they could have got into his phone, face recognition or thumbprint to delete whatever was deleted, which puts Nolan with them on July 5th. I just proved it and showed the timestamp. And his body had to be returned back to the island because that's where they found it. Right? I think y'all went out there again to help your alibi, to say, oh, I'm concerned to go look for my friend. You even brought your parents. But you didn't go to where y'all know y'all dumped him, right? Follow me. Yeah, you went to the island. But you didn't go where y'all left him, allegedly. Because then that was suspicious for you to go back to the place where he was left. Most people who unalive people, they go back to the scene of the crime. I'm going to say it again. And they don't feel no way about it. Most people who commit a crime and unalive someone or something egregious happens in a certain area, that person who is directly connected to said crime or did it goes back to the scene of the crime. 1, you felt comfortable going back to a space that your friend who you grew up with, that you say is like your brother, you felt comfortable going back to that space. When Tatum asked you, let's go back to the island, I would have said, if something so traumatic happened to I can't do that. I'm not ready for that. That's going to bring up too many memories. Like, no, my friend was left there. I ain't going to be able to do it. It's too soon. That would have been my reaction. But for you to say, oh, sure, let's go back. All right, let's keep going. Warren's dad. Let's do some background history. Warren's dad is an emergency department doctor, okay, at the hospital there in Mississippi. Found that out. Bart, who y'all heard him mention, Bart Jr.'s dad is an anesthesiologist at that same hospital. So they all know each other and work with each other, okay? These are very privileged, rich kids who have connections in the Mississippi judicial system, okay? Because we all know Warren's mom is a lawyer, or just a judge, all right? One of the other kids, their mom, I already told y'all, is an attorney. So they're all directly connected. That's why they ain't talking. They don't feel like they need to. Again, pay attention to Warren saying that he knows several people who died on this island. Notice that in Mississippi, there have been several Black kids that have passed away and their deaths have been marked undetermined. Is this the first time that this ever happened? In the situation with Nolan? Not to say they're just some killers out here. But do they know about other deaths that may have happened? That maybe they didn't report, or they saw, or may have been involved in? If you know multiple of other deaths. Is this the first time they've gotten away with something like this? That just makes me wonder. All right. Nolan was found July the 6th. But Warren said he got the call about Nolan found on July 5th. And that the body, like I said, the body was originally found July the 6th, 8:45 a.m. And that's the correct date because I looked it up. Warren says that the next day he's worried about Nolan at 1 p.m. But you said that you originally didn't worry about Nolan because he was with Katie. So if you knew he was with Katie, what would make you worry just out of the blue? After y'all done had a pool party, y'all done went out to eat at McDonald's, y'all know, and where it said Waffle House, y'all done hung out together and took a whole nap and everything. Y'all ain't thought about Nolan until 1 p.m. the next day. That's what you said. You didn't need to worry about him because he was at the pool party, right? Let's keep going. My other note says that Warren called Christine to see if she had heard from Nolan on July 5th, right? When you said you found out that he was found. So why you calling her to ask her if she heard from him? And how would she hear from him if y'all had his phone? Right? How would Christine, Nolan's mother, hear from Nolan if y'all had his phone? And why would there be a need to call her to ask her if she heard from Nolan when you know you have his phone? On July 5th, if y'all had just saw him at the pool party and he was okay. Right? We about to get into why he wasn't okay. I'm gonna put it up here in a minute. All right, y'all knew you had his phone. So obviously, let's keep going. Warren says, this is Warren that was in the interview we just watched. Warren says that he knows people, like I said, who died on Horn Island, but turned around and also said 5 minutes later in said interview that you're not used to being around death or people dying, but you felt very comfortable leaving Nolan on said island, okay? On a place where you know that multiple deaths have occurred that were unanswered for, okay? I would not have done that, all right? Said that they never told Christine, like I said, that they had Nolan's phones or keys. They had to fish it out and press them for his belongings, okay? Which also establishes an alibi to seek concern. Most people who unalive somebody, they're directly connected in said investigation. They're going to call. They're going to put an alibi out there. Warren calling Christine to make it seem like he was concerned doesn't put the light on him, so to speak, to say, oh, he did it, because he called me to check on him. So I wouldn't think that he would even be directly connected in it. Not saying that he unalived Nolan, but you may know somebody who did or know of what happened to him. So you calling it and acting so concerned to ask, have you heard from him, when you know that's impossible for her to hear from him because he didn't have a fucking phone, makes it seem that you were building your alibi. Warren, okay? Your mama is a judge, so you know how this shit works. You know exactly how this works and what to do, right? Well, I'm on their ass. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. Because now I want to pull up. Let's stop. Pull up over here. The girl that they had at the pool party. Let's pull up what she said. You just said the girl. I was waiting on you to say that. Thank y'all. Y'all pardon me, I gotta wipe my nose. So the girl, we fished out who this girl is, Alasia Spencer. That's who had a party. They went to Alasia's house. Shout out to Nina, the paralegal. Let's put this up so y'all can see with me what happened to Nolan. And she spells it out. And she gives names of who assaulted him. But why aren't these people arrested? Because she gave a statement, right? Let's get into it. Alasia Spencer, that's who house they was at for this alleged party on July 5th when they tried to lie and say it was 627. Alasia says, bro, no, which is Nolan, didn't get into a fight at the island. It was at our other friend, Nolan and Wyatt. Wyatt is the person whose boat broke down, all right? Said that Nolan and Wyatt did get into an altercation right after that, not even 10 minutes later, because Wyatt took his phone and Evan was trying to be hard. Nolan was definitely screaming, give me my fucking phone back, ninja. What the hell is wrong with you? So there was a tense situation where Wyatt got into it with Nolan taking his phone. I feel like they were building their alibi to take his phone and delete things to show that they weren't with him at certain times. Let's keep going. Warren just said in the interview that there was no fight, that the fight was between his brother, his younger brother, and that there was no tense situations with Nolan and the rest of the guys that he came with, that everybody loved Nolan, everybody was cool. According to Alasia, Wyatt and Nolan got into an altercation. Y'all see it? Where Nolan says, give me my effing phone back. So they they all calmed down. All right, which y'all heard Warren say, everybody calm down. So that's when we head to Evan's house. Because y'all hear that? That's when we head to Evan's house. So Alasia is putting Nolan there with them because he was throwing a pool party. So yes, No came to the party. But I thought y'all left him on the island. Just go back. So they all calmed down after Wyatt and got into it with Nolan. So that's when we head to Evan's house because he was throwing a pool party. So yes, No, which is Nolan, came to the party, and yes, we was drinking, but Wyatt and Evan and Morgan, she giving names, and Andrew was really high. And I think they was trying to get Lucy and Natalia to try some as well. But yes, they got into it again. Y'all know when certain drugs make you be aggressive, right? At the pool party. The one I just told y'all that was 7/5 of 2026. That they tried to lie and say was 6/27 of 26. That it didn't end until almost 1 a.m. We're placing Nolan at the pool party, which I have timestamped at 7/5 of 2026, when y'all say he stayed on the island of 7/4 of 2026 and y'all didn't see him no more. Thank you. I know Evan's mom kicked us all out. So Evan's mom, you knew that Nolan was there as well. Right? You seeing all this on the news. Everybody's giving statements. People are saying that Nolan was last seen on 7/4. Mom, Evan's mom, why haven't you spoken up to say Nolan was at my house for the pool party? We ain't heard you say shit. But we're placing him at your house as an adult who allowed a pool party of all these people to be there, including Nolan. He was placed there. I have pictures of him there. So somebody's lying. So how the fuck did he get back to the island face down in the sand with a big knot on the back of his head, according to the autopsy? Y'all, I know Evan's mom kicked us all out. Once they started fighting, it was Andrew and Evan and Wyatt and Warren. Warren, you just did an interview. Warren, you just did an interview to say the last time you saw Nolan was on the island. But I started fighting again. Andrew and Evan and Wyatt and Warren was basically recording and laughing and saying, get him. And all I could hear was No screaming for his mom. Warren, you a motherfucking lie. That the last time you saw Nolan was 7/4 of 2026 when you recorded him. And that's why y'all went ghost and lawyered up, because you were scared that somebody talked and told that y'all ass was with Nolan on 7/5 at a motherfucking pool party where you recorded him getting assaulted. And y'all egged it on and told him to get him, and Nolan was scared and screaming for his mama. He was scared. He was outnumbered by motherfuckers who was hot and filmed him. It's filmed. I don't know if y'all know about iPhones. I've had iPhone for a very long time. Even though you delete it from your phone, it's in the cloud. So each one of their phones should have been taken at the police station, and forensics should have gone through their phones and looked at, first of all, you deleting shit around this time that this happened is suspicious enough for me, right? So whoever, and it said here, Andrew, Evan, Wyatt, and Warren was basically recording and laughing, saying, get him, and says it, and all I could hear was No, which is Nolan, screaming, Mom. Let's keep going. So yes, I tried helping. Then his mom came out screaming, yelling, drunk. So mom was drunk too. So with all this commotion going on with them hollering and screaming, with Nolan screaming as well after he was being attacked, and they were filming this attack, and the mom came out, Evan's mom came out drunk and makes us leave and was saying that she was going to call the cops on us. So they had to stop because, one, y'all high. You're not supposed to be high. You're not supposed to be drinking because that's underage. That's going to bring attention. Somebody going to get arrested. Evan's mom going to be arrested for allowing underage drinking under her watch. Okay? If we didn't leave her house. So she didn't want none of that shit here after Nolan was attacked on her property and also seen throwing up blood. Let's keep going. But they didn't let No leave. So you're holding someone against their will. That's another crime. And No was by the basketball goal that was inside the pool. She describes it. and he was leaning over beside it, gasping for air and spitting up blood. Which now lets me know why Mississippi held on to his insides, his intestines, because there's internal injuries of Nolan, and they didn't want the second autopsy to catch it. Anytime you're throwing up blood, is something internally wrong. So why did y'all keep the throat region? Why did y'all have his insides? And why weren't they sent for the second autopsy? Because y'all are covering up what happened to him in this pool. But now his mom know, because it sounds like she reached out. And I just got off the phone with her. Let's go back up. So we get that back on this video. Anastasia Spencer, who was there and witnessed it. Even though Warren, scared ass, trying to get an alibi, you were there. You already said in the video you were there at the pool party, but you lied about the date when it happened, but I got it. Evan, Wyatt, Warren, and Andrew recorded Nolan in distress and saw him spitting up blood. Let's go back to the video. Let's go back. Stop sharing. Let's go back to this damn picture of the pool. Because I don't feel like she's lying. Let's go back to this pool. Warren, that's why I said Warren is a motherfucking lie. Well, I ain't gonna let you lie. Not to me, you ain't. All right, hold on. Hold on. Stop sharing. Let's blow all these up again because I want y'all to see this pool that she described. Everything she described is there. She don't have a fucking reason to lie. Hold on. I'm gonna put that back up there because I want that on this video. That's why he couldn't give eye contact, because his ass was lying. He's covering for his friends. I feel like they chose him because he's the best one to talk about this situation because his mom is a judge. I'm pretty sure he's had plenty of conversations with her. They've had plenty of time to get their story straight since July the 4th. What is this? 24th, 23rd? You had weeks to get your story together and talk to your mom, who is a judge, that told you how to maneuver in this damn interview and what to say and not to say. Oh, we about to look at this shit again. Y'all lying asses. All right. Let's pull it back up. Let's pull this shit up. Now, what I just read to y'all, that's what happened to him. And they took him back out there because how the fuck he get back out there after what happened to him? We also talked about yesterday where someone also came forward to say that Nolan was hitting the back of her head with a pole, that the pole should probably be in the woods out there near the island. And also there was a book bag with blood on it in somebody's garage. I'm going to think that it's probably Evan or Wyatt. Right? Yeah. All right. So, of course, that's the DA. Let's keep going. This is Warren. Okay. This is Warren. That was just in the interview. Okay. Let's keep going. Pay attention. Timestamp at the top, 7/5/2026. That's when the pool party occurred. Okay. Let's keep going. There was 30 people out there on 3 boats. Y'all heard that. Here's Warren. What you see right here? What's right here? This is where Warren was in distress. Nolan was in distress. This is you right here, Warren, with your arm around him. Trying to act like y'all buddy right before y'all attacked him probably and filmed him being attacked, right? Look how big these boys are against Nolan. Nolan is tall, but he's small in stature. But he is an athlete, so he is strong. I'm pretty sure he works out. But he is no match for y'all. See how big these guys are when he's being attacked by everyone and people are filming this? But now, if you guys are in the pool, because Warren said something that stuck out to me. Warren said that when people are in water, we don't have our phones out in the water. How did y'all film this altercation in the water if he's been attacked in the water if you have your phone? Warren. Now, over here again, let me point your attention. Over here is where Nolan was spitting up blood and gasping for air. Why would one need to gasp for air? Was he punched in the stomach repeatedly? Think about it. If I get into a fight with somebody, if you're gasping for air, which really brought to my attention with the autopsy with his throat region being missing, Was he punched or choked? Because Warren mentions in the interview that his younger brother got into an altercation and one of the boys put him in some type of chokehold. Y'all remember that? Chokehold, which means the area here. Usually when you're fighting someone, okay, and you hit here, that's for anybody. If you've ever taken self-defense classes, there are certain areas where you can hit a person to make them release you, okay? The throat area, because when a person can't breathe, they're focused on getting their air. If you hit somebody in the throat, let me educate y'all, because I've taken self-defense classes because I used to be a habilitative technician where I used to work with children who could sometimes become violent, and you have to know how to restrain them so that they cannot become violent. Not to say you hit them in the throat, right? But there are certain methods and ways that you can hold them to keep them from being aggressive. One of which I also, okay, should I tell y'all this? I don't know. Now I'm not even gonna tell it. Okay, just run up on me and find out. But also, if you're trying to, if someone attacks you and grabs you in a certain way, the eyes behind the ear is another way to make someone release you. This is a spot back here behind your ear that you can make a person release you if you press it hard enough. They gotta let you go because that shit hurt. It's a nerve behind your ear. It's a nerve behind your ear that if you press it hard enough, if somebody comes behind you and grab you and you press this back here, right here, behind your ear hard enough, they gotta let you go, okay? The nose area, if you hit right here in an upward motion, let me educate some of y'all, okay? This is if you're ever attacked. And you do your hands like this. Put your fingers down like this. And you punch into someone's nose in an upward motion. The nose is a very sensitive area, even on a fucking alligator. But if you punch in an upward motion, they got to let go because one, it's going to make your eyes water. And two, it's going to be very uncomfortable, right? They're going to release you. Probably piss them off too, right? So I'm pretty sure Nolan was fighting back. Someone hit him, had to be in the throat area or choked him out, which is why the throat was removed during the autopsy and not sent, right? The throat area was cut out, which probably shows some strangulation or something put around his neck, hypothetically, right? His insides were removed because he was throwing up blood, which shows internal injuries in Nolan, okay? Right? I'm just telling y'all. They were all drinking, of course. If drugs were also present, I'm pretty sure Nolan, I hope he wasn't taking drugs. We got to wait, like I said yesterday, 6 to 8 weeks for toxicology to come in to give that information. Maybe they were trying to have him or make him take drugs. We already heard Anastasia, what's her name? Anastasia, whatever her name is, say that the guys were trying to coerce the girls to take drugs. Nolan was probably like, I ain't taking that shit. Monday, I got to go and do my thing for college. No, I ain't doing that. It probably pissed him off because he wasn't being a good friend to get high with them. We don't know why they were arguing. But in this area is where Miss Anastasia says that Nolan was over here throwing up blood and gasping for air. All right. When they saw him in distress and the mother, Evan's mother, told him, all right, y'all got to get the fuck out of here because y'all making too much noise. And Nolan over here in distress like he is, Nolan had to be probably carried wherever they carried him to the next place. Right. But what we do know is that when he got to the island, he was not alive anymore. I feel like the final blow, which was probably to the back of the head, which we also see a huge red area on the back of his head, which is where someone said he was hit in the back of the head, possibly with a pole, allegedly, right? So he was probably already still throwing up blood. So to finish him off, a blow to the back of the head would have completely taken him out. Because God forbid you leave him on the island and he's still alive and he can give names of who did what to him, right? There he is. There's the basketball goal. Okay? There they all are. Same picture, same pool party. But this one here, Warren, who was taking video of Nolan being attacked, Mr. That's my friend, and I will never see Nolan do this, da-da-da-da. You put the date up here saying that it happened on this date, and that's not when. So I hope you didn't tell that to the police, because then that would be, one, tampering with evidence, because y'all already did that with deleting shit from your phone. And two, giving false police statements. That's also a crime as well. You should have known that from your mama, who is a fucking judge. But what do y'all think about the findings? Let me know. What do y'all think about the findings? Okay. You want to play it? Oh, I got to play this. All right. I got to play this. Then we're going to end this video because it's getting to be too long. I got to play this. When I saw this, I said, oh my God. 369 watching me. So let's get into a psychotherapist. Okay. His reaction to Warren's interview. Warren Hudson, who we just saw. Let's get into this. Elliot speaks. Thank you so much for doing this. I agree with everything he has to say. Let's go.
Another video that I saw of Warren Hudson discussing the details of the day that he got separated from Nolan Wells when he went missing. I want you to watch this clip and let me explain the things that stood out to me as I watched it.
People say that you guys just left Nolan behind. I've seen reports of people saying that you just left him. I see reports of people saying that you asked him to get on the boat. You told him to get on the boat. He didn't. What's the truth in that?
Well, Wyatt was having boat issues and the bilge wouldn't pump. So the bilge is basically a pump that releases water from your boat when water comes in. So I opened the back hatch and there's water up to the batteries. And that is obviously not good. There's water almost coming over the transom, which is where your motors sit and which is the, by the stern, like in the back part of the boat. So obviously we were in emergency. The boat, we're trying to save the boat. It's not like we didn't ask Nolan or we just left Nolan. Nolan decided to stay on the island with the girl that he was with. And the girl is a witness to that too.
Yeah.
That's a lie. Y'all hear how he tried to clean up? And the girl is a witness to that too. No, she's not.
I'm a practicing psychotherapist. I've been working with clients who've been struggling with issues like things like grief for over 20 years. And this young man is behaving very unusually. I'm going to give you some examples that demonstrate as to what I mean. Number one, the person doing the interview, whose name I will not say because I do not support him, he brought him to the location where this happened. That should have been a massive trigger. You just lost your best friend that you say is like a brother to me, that you explained we went to elementary school, middle school, high school together and continued to stay close through our first year of college. And now you're going back to the site where he lost his life. That is unusual. People who experience an emotional connection to somebody and they lose them, you could take that person back to the spot where they lost a friend or loved one 30 years later and it should trigger them. You're back 2 weeks later and having no emotional response to being in that location. That is very, very odd. I also strongly believe that his interview and his responses are being coached and was well rehearsed. Notice how many times, and you can see this throughout all of the interviews, but notice how many times he repeats himself. He doesn't refer to Nolan by any other phrase except Nolan. He doesn't say, man, my boy, or my good buddy, I can't believe. He doesn't say any of that. Just Nolan, 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 Nolan. That is unusual, and that level of repetitiveness tells me that this is a rehearsed response. Now, as a psychotherapist, we get trained as this kind of thing because very often we interview children who've had a traumatic experience through the family courts, like domestic violence or a divorce proceeding, or sometimes through SA. We have to interview children, and you can tell when the children have been coached by exactly things like this.
Right.
I'll give you another thing that's really important that stood out to me. When people lie, they go into deep, irrelevant details. So when he was asking that clip about like, did you ask Nolan to come back with you? He goes into a deep explanation on what a bilge is and the functionality of a boat. That has nothing to do with what is going on right now. But when people are telling stories, they oftentimes will give very deep explanations that have absolutely nothing to do with the content of the conversation itself. These are all things that let me know this young man is hiding something. I do not know what. I cannot tell you exactly what it is, but this would be incredibly alarming. And I think the last thing is he describes like Nolan wanting to stay with a girl, but 100% he should absolutely be saying things like, I wish I hadn't let him. Something told me, man, we need to stick together as a group. I wish I had asked one of the other friends to stay on the boat with Nolan. There is no evidence of remorse coming from this young man at all. He is simply repeating the story, detail by detail, with no remorse, no tears, no pain, no anxiety, no affect change as he tells the story. He's just telling the story, and he's explaining it in such a way that absolves him of any responsibility and puts all of the responsibility on Nolan. He has previously in other interviews said Nolan was drinking. He did not say we were drinking. He said Nolan wanted to stay. He did not say we supported Nolan saying, like, it's just all on Nolan. And again, 100% of the time, he should be saying something like, Nolan wanted to stay with the girl, but I wish we hadn't let him. Nolan wanted to stay with the girl, but we shouldn't have let him do that by himself. One of us should have stayed with him. He's not saying any of that. He is simply recounting the details of the story as if it's like a chapter in a book. As if it was just like a random day where nothing unusual happened. Not like it's the day where he lost his best friend and someone he refers to as brother. What did you notice in the comments, and what did you think of my analysis?
This is coming from a psychotherapist who's done this for years, several cases. He analyzed this interview, and he is spot on. Everything that I said, he didn't give no fucks. And I feel like the only reason he called that boy's mama was to cement his alibi and to seem concerned. He really didn't give a fuck. How do you care? And why do you care about what happened to him when you filmed him being attacked? That's my only thing. If you filmed Nolan being attacked and you were laughing and egging it on, why would you call his mom asking, is he okay? You didn't give a fuck if he was okay. You didn't care if he was okay. Because you filmed him being attacked. I guarantee you they all deleted that same video of all of them doing that. And the only reason now they're doing an interview, or they sent him to do it, because probably he's the brighter out of all of them, because the rest of them are probably drugged out. They don't fry their brain cells. So he's probably the brightest out of all of the friends to sit and talk to someone. One, because his mom is a judge. She's probably had several conversations since July 4th about this to give him strategically what to say. And he felt the need to say something since they got criticized for, one, deleting and deactivating accounts, right? And not coming out and showing some type of remorse. None of them went to the funeral. Like, it's weird. If this is somebody who was your friend since childhood, y'all didn't even come to pay your respects. It's weird. No emotions, none. Coming back to the island should have had you breaking down, crying like you said you did when you found out that they found Nolan's body. You should have broke down the minute your feet touched that sand, pretty much driving up to the fucking lake. You should have been breaking down, crying. Your face should have been red. Your eyes should have been bloodshot red. You should have, been hyperventilating, all of that, knowing this is the last place I saw my friend / brother. You should have been going crazy. You should have told the interviewer, I don't even know if I can finish this fucking interview. This is too much. Crazy. What y'all think? I ain't gonna keep this video no longer. We'll come back. Any other developments, we'll put it in another video, maybe a part 2 or something. I'm gonna go ahead and end this interview because I got a phone call that I gotta take, you guys. And I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope y'all were able to be more enlightened on all of the stuff that I pulled on this video. Information, timelines, timestamps. We got a lot of information in this video, right? We chopped down some lies. Shout out 376 watching, right? Some great stuff in this interview. This video alone. So go back and check it. If you guys are just coming in replay, you do not want to miss this video. It's a lot of stuff to chop down, but we got some more stuff that we're going to share with you guys. I'm still digging. I'm still looking. I'm still being nosy and snooping. Yeah, I'm on all this shit over there. They don't even know it. But I'm going to continue to be looking and to see what else is being deleted, what else is being brought out. All of the information that I have will be sent over to Big Crump, as I've been doing. I told y'all yesterday he's gonna probably block my ass because I have been really sending over some real good stuff. So yeah, y'all keep coming back. When y'all see me go live, just know it will be about Nolan and in terms of other cases that we've been covering as well, like Carmelo Anthony. Also, what's the other guy's name? George something. I'm looking at some stuff with him too. But definitely Carmelo, of course, Nolan, of course, Shanquilla. We're going to keep that up and going as well. And any other things that y'all find that y'all think is reputable in any of these cases, send it to me. I'm happy to look at it. I'm happy to dig and find out whatever else we can add to it as well, because we want to find out what happened to Nolan. We want to find out what happened to anybody that something happened to. All right. In so many cases, my God, Celeste, we're gonna keep talking about Celeste Hernandez with this David case too. It's a lot, y'all. I'm tired. Okay, shit. Oh my God. Thank y'all. Thank you so much, Stacey Gray. All right, y'all says thanks so much. Yes, honey, I'm on it, baby. I'm on it. Y'all saw how you lied about them dates. I said, oh hell no. Oh, hell no. Y'all see that timestamp? And y'all, and don't nobody go say, oh, they placed that there. That's AI. Don't do that. Because y'all can see that that's a reputable picture with a complete timestamp. It's a screenshot from an actual video, you guys. Okay? Don't play with me. Y'all don't do no fake shit over here. But thank y'all so much. All right, we got to get out of here. Thank you to all of my top flight mods for doing an awesome job of keeping the trolling down up in the chat. Tiffany Thomas, Rose Olmstead, and True TV Podcast. Thank y'all so much. Thank you to all the content creators. Thank you to all the content creators as well. Okay, we're gonna get out of here. You guys have a wonderful one. I'll see you guys on midday. Pop in. Please keep your notifications on. Like this video, hype up this video, subscribe to the channel if you've not done so. You guys see we have great tea over here. We cover some great topics as well. I'll see you guys then. Until the next one, bye. Okay.
Thank you.